Hey guys, welcome back to the Race Survival Series. Week number 7. We have Barracks here, already on a little bit of a winning streak. He took down Beast on map 1 and Mighty on map 2. And here we are in map 3, where he is going to be going up against Yabsab. All right. Yeah, this is a match which I definitely think is Barracks favored. Right? Like, I'd be a little bit surprised if Yabsab is able to take him down. Yabsab, like, I mean, he's pretty well known right now. He still hasn't been in ASL or anything. But it feels like he's just, like, a little bit below. Like, he's still got some filling in to do to play with the strongest of each race. But, you know, he's kind of in the ballpark. So I don't want to count him out or anything. I mean, he can definitely take maps off all these guys. But in this slightly more formal tournament setting, is he going to be able to do this against Barracks, who has been kind of a killer, really, when you think about it, right? Like, he's done a fantastic job in race survival overall. I mean, in pretty much everything overall, he's been quite fantastic. Well, the map is polypoid, and it looks like we are going to get that Overlord Scout going in the right direction here to find Barracks right away. We'll see if Barracks scouts over towards the right. Normally that is the way that you go in this matchup, sending out that 12 scout, as is the norm. See a hatchery first play, as well as a drone coming out now. The Overlord and SCV should see each other, so the drone likely to turn around at that point. Yeah, there it goes. No sense to keep it going. You know exactly where the Terran player is. That's when you expected to see the SCV and everything. And as he scouts this first, this is kind of one of the interesting things, I guess, in TVZ. If you scout your opponent this quickly, you don't actually have to make your second depot. You can just go command center, because you don't need any Marines. Because you see the health on the hatchery, you're like, oh, he doesn't have a spawning pool. We're fine. And I'm not sure what the SCV is doing or why it's going back. Oh, he's trying to pretend maybe that it's like a rush. Yeah, see the drone coming out? So I think he's trying to pretend that this was some sort of proxy Barracks play. Because the Overlord saw the SCV, but I guess theoretically that could have been an SCV that was scouting to see if Zerg was up here if you had made a very fast Barracks somewhere in the map. So this was a little bit of a mind game that we just saw. And the thing is, this SCV, he already knows when he sees the hatchery health, he knows exactly what's happening. Because at that hatchery health, you know the timing of all the buildings, because there's only so many minerals that someone can have in the early game. Whereas for Yabsab, all he sees is the SCV moving. So there's a little bit less information. He has to bring the drone. So even though, like, basically this SCV, no matter what, was gonna be out on the map. Like, this SCV is never gonna go home. Well, sometimes if it gets really low health, you'll send it home and try to get it away from the lings while you replace it with another scout. But my point is that the way he moved his SCV back and kind of faked forced lost mining time for Yabsab. And that's impressive, right? Like, that's one of those very small moves that you really only see from pro gamers. Now, all that being said, this is very, very normal play. Very, very normal play over here as well. Actually, this is a little bit different from Barracks. He's actually gone 3 depot before any gas or anything. So it's more heavy Marine production, but he won't be able to do any pre-Mutalisk push because he won't have his medics out in time. Yeah, like, his medics are going to pop out right around 5 minutes, and that's, like, kind of when you need to leave your base to really push Zerg before those mutas pop. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Like, he's trying to make the build as tight as possible. This was a 5-minute academy. Or a 4-minute academy, sorry. So, yeah, that's basically, like, yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to really put on any pressure. Maybe he can force a sunken or 2 at the natural, but I don't think he can cancel a third base or anything, which looks like Yabsab is going to take right now in the bottom right here. Couple lings just running in and out. By the way, with this type of build where you're building a few more Marines because you got those extra depots up, Barracks does have so many Marines at this point that you don't really even feel like you need a bunker that badly, so that's kind of nice. The Spire still on the way here. Where is our engineering bay? That should be started any second now. Here come those 2 medics. And you know what? I think Barracks is going to try to push, but as you can see, the Spire is just about to finish. So the mutas should be popping out as the Marines get to wherever it is that they're going. And yeah, you got to be careful about that. And look at this. Oh man, he's buying time right now with those Zerglings. That's really, really nice. And you can see, even with that, it's like it just pushes it back a few seconds. The Mutalisks being made. Ling's going for a little bit of a counter. A couple of fire bats come out. Ooh, very nice micro here from Yabsab. Going after these SCVs. And they're going to run into the main base. Wow, these are insanely aggressive and annoying Zerglings right now. They've done a lot for him. Oh my god, he gets another one building the barracks. But yeah, the mutas are out. And this is why it's like really hard to actually make something like this work. He does have a lot of Marines, so he decides to go in anyways. Okay, kills off. Well, he's trying to target some stuff down. He gets the sunken, but he's gonna lose everything here. Yabsab will be able to kill off these Marines and medics, but he actually loses 3 mutas. All right, well, Barracks did a lot better with that than what I was expecting. That's for sure. That's for sure. Kind of impressive, honestly. Like killing the sunken and getting like that many. The fire bats are trying to do a little tactic here. But yeah, getting that many mutas, and you're keeping the mutas out of your base so you have longer to build your turrets. That was actually a very good move, and that is not something that we almost ever see, like that type of timing. Very cool play here from Barracks. And by the way, those fire bats, those are the reason he made those were to hold a possible Ling counterattack while he moved out with his bio, but then when it didn't come, the fire bats are not useful. So you send them out on the map and see if you can sneak around overlords and stuff and get some drones. Here, he wasn't able to. Yabsab caught that, so very well done. In fact, he's trying that again now with a couple of Marines. And the mutas barely miss it. And that's what those mutas are doing, by the way. When they fan out like that, they're looking for these little attacks that you may be sending out, where it's like, these 2 Marines can kill most of these drones. And that's amazing for you as Terran. Now, the 4th Barracks is coming up here for Barracks. He's going to keep a lot of pressure on. That's what that means when you see the 4 Raxes, and it makes a very late factory. This is, you know, normally you want the factory by 7 minutes, but in a game like this where you're keeping that much pressure on, you know, that's just a choice that you can make. It could make it a little bit harder when Yabsab gets to Lurkers, though, because then suddenly all the Marines you made don't really do very much. Now, here are those 2 Marines we were talking about before, going after these drones. The drone's trying to run away right now. And notice the mutas start to fly back. Okay, yeah, he brings up more rally mutas here. Ooh, even gets another drone there. So it's good that Yabsab saved most of it, but you can see the kind of value that Barracks is getting literally in every situation. This is what a top 10 Terran looks like. You know, it's amazing. It's just so different when you get to the top level with Terran, what you can get done with the tiniest little things. The mutas flying around, dogging this Marine medic force. This force is like, this is a little bit of a bluff. Like, he has a lot of barracks, so he feels comfortable doing this, but realistically, the mutas do beat this ball over time. Yabsab looking for that moment to hit the engagement. 5th Barracks is coming up already. Has that +1 attack finishing up. Double starports as well. But I believe we have Lurkers morphing. Yeah, see, Lurkers down here. So as soon as those get to the ramp, this can't do anything. And yeah, Lurkers at the choke as well. So this is kind of the downside of going for Marine medic heavy. If they get the quick Lurkers, you don't get much damage. Now look at this. These are coming back to actually do some harassment because he's got those Lurkers on the way. So he feels safe. Enough turrets and Marines in the main base that they do get turned around. But yeah, basically, as soon as the Lurkers are out, this is a very normal move. This is like what you're supposed to do with the mutas. You fly in, you start diving, trying to get some damage. And in this case, it doesn't really get that much done, honestly. It's pulling them back now. They might go on, like, drop duty, right? Like, looking for drops and things like that, doing some scouting. But they can't do too much anymore against the massive amount of bio and the +1 attack upgrade. Yeah, see, pick off a unit here and there. I mean, if you have that extra speed, go for it. See, Yabsab sitting here at about 300 at APM. We have a triple stacked lurker here underneath the Overlord, so hard to see, hard to irradiate and things like that. Irradiate, by the way, on the way, as well as 2-1 upgrades. We have Consume coming up for the Defilers as well. Getting that Carapace upgrade, so important. Got to build towards Carapace upgrades for those late game Ultralisk switches. And yeah, plenty of turrets. Like, Barracks looking very, very solid. Like, I don't think that the game is his yet, but you can kind of see, right, where he's gained little edges all over the place. But, again, that being said, the vessels are a little bit slow this game, and that has to do with the slowness of the factory. So we haven't had any irradiates or anything, which means there's actually no danger right now for Yabsab. Well, I mean, Barracks seems to think that there is, but 3-stack lurkers are going to say otherwise. He stims into the natural here, and even some more lurkers come out. This was not a good move from Barracks. He killed 1 lurker and 2 sunken colonies there, and lost like 20-ish Marines. So, you know, that... when I was saying Yabsab was not in fear of anything and not in any danger, I was not lying. And Barracks thought he could get something done because he had so much. And that's, again, this is part of the price you pay for going so bio-heavy, is you have all of these units, you have a way bigger army, but Zerg has such a good defender's advantage. And, you know, Barracks wanted to turn some of his army into, you know, some damage. And I understand, it makes sense, but into stacked lurkers, it's a little bit tough. Now starts to sim forward here. Just going to hit an irradiate because the Dark Swarm does go down. Gets that Defiler. Another group coming down here. Ooh, joining up with some drop ships. Now, we don't have any medics in here, but it is a good amount of Marines. Looks like we have like 12, 13 Marines in here. And drops in between the Scourge. Are you kidding me? Oh, does not lose anything there. And stims forward. Oh my god, he picks off that first lurker immediately. The Knight is going to go down as well. This is so much damage stacking up right now. He does have another Defiler here. Yeah, he can throw down like a Dark Swarm and like burrow the lurker. Oh god, get those drones under there. Get the drones under there. Well, Barracks just kind of runs back. And obviously the Marines can't hit anything underneath. So that is pretty much done. Down come the Mutas. The rest of his Bioforce coming towards the natural. We do have another Defiler that has energy here, so all he needs to do is throw down a single Dark Storm, and that'll be defended. And yeah, the drop is dealt with. I feel like the drop could have done slightly better, but it still did well. That was definitely still a worthwhile drop. But it does feel like maybe it could have done a bit better. But the thing is, if you over-micro your drops, you're not going to be able to keep up on your macro. That's for sure, even up here at almost 400 APM. Now, more dropships coming in. Wow, a huge amount of dropships, in fact. Not completely full, but some vessels coming up as well with those very powerful irradiates. Flies into the main base. Oh god, the Scourge going after this, and he will kill off one of those dropships immediately. The second one gets killed. The third one gets out, and that's kind of funny. He throws down a Dark Swarm, which protects the Marines from the Mutas. The Marines being microed here now. There is a remaining lurker, so obviously he cannot break through here. The lurkers seem like they'll hold on to the main base, but losing the gas, I mean, that's a lot of damage right there. This is really what those third bases are all about, is getting that gas mining. Another lurker coming up and burrowing. Look at this, a stim in right now from Barracks, and he actually does break the one remaining lurker. It seems like Yabsab just can't quite hold on here. He is going to lose that fourth base, never really got mining from it. But he should be able to hold this bottom right main. Let's take a look over at Barracks base, see what he's doing. Third base is coming up around, yeah, it looks like it's going to be finishing just after 14 minutes. We have more vessels being produced. The upgrades continue forward. He does have 2-1 already with 3-2 on the way. Another drop coming in as well, so he wants to continue that harassment. On Yabsab's side, he's continuing Carapace upgrades, chitinous plating here for his Ultras as well, so does want to get into that heavier Ultralisk tech, but he doesn't have that big of an economy, so it's going to be a little bit difficult. Another drop attempts to come in and gets snagged. Hey! Honestly, look at this, okay? We're up 18 workers for Barracks, but not that much in Army Supply. So Army Supply is actually getting a little bit close at this point. He's spent a lot with those drop harassments. Well, we're going to see if that actually ends up paying off or not. Barracks stimming in right now, and a great defense matrix drawing all of the lurker shots. Beautifully done tactic there. Able to knock that out, and now using the eraser as well. Looks like he's headed towards that main base. Lurker's coming down the ramp under the Dark Storm. Obviously, he has to pull back from that, but in the meantime, the eraser tries to hit those mainline drones. The drones trying to run away right now. Some Scourge coming in to clean up some of that also. Now the Dark Storm goes out as Barracks stims and runs backward. The Ultras retreating back under the Swarm. They are behind on upgrades. Against +2 Marine attack, you really need 4 carapace on an Ultra. That's where the Ultra becomes strong. At 3 carapace, the Marines actually kill you pretty easily. So yeah, he is a little bit behind on that. By the way, I do want to throw out a shout out for the Science Vessel Energy upgrade. What is that even called? Titan Reactor? Yeah. See, I knew. Titan Reactor. That's a great thing. If you start getting a lot of vessels, it's definitely worthwhile if you're going to continue vessel production to get it, because it starts them much closer to an irradiate. Now the vessel's coming forward here. Has the irradiates for some damage onto this Zerg army. Another Defiler going to be going down. Some damage on that Ultra was already hurt, so that one will be falling as well. Another Bioforce going towards the 4th. Nothing here to defend right now. Here comes that irradiate. Oh, he actually has Fire Badge, so he can kill this. Goes ahead, D-Matrix one of them. So down will go this Lurker, and he's going to be able to target down the hatchery as well. Doesn't even matter if this army dies. Killing that 4th hatchery is worth so much. In fact, all the drones that come down start to die as well. The Ultra probably could finish that all off since it's all so hurt with Plague. And that he will. Barracks keeping the pressure on. Look at that. Like, I have to just keep jumping back and forth. Even as an observer, it's hard to keep up with this guy. Just attacks and harassment absolutely everywhere. Trying to bust every single location. Staying on top of it. And, I mean, look at this. He's spreading and stimming and killing so many lurkers here. He's got that +3 attack and +2 armor now as well. Another eraser on this drone lane. Ooh, gets it in perfect sync with the fleeing drones. Those drones going to be absolutely evaporated. This is starting to look pretty bad for Yabsab. I mean, he's been on the edge of destruction for a little bit here, but has held on. And you'd be surprised what you can come back with from Zerg with the Defiler play, if it's solid enough. But at this point, you're below 70 supply. That's where Zergs just kind of start to die. That's a number that I throw around a lot casting this matchup, because that's where it's like, okay, yeah, this Zerg is basically broken at this point. Where if you have a little bit more than that, you know, you kind of continue to hold on and push it forward. But 150 against 68, it's getting pretty tough. Barracks taking another base over here in the bottom left, has a command center for a 4th base here, but a single Ultra actually kind of slowing that down quite a bit. Good amount of Barracks in his main producing, still just Science Vessel production, so very happy with that. I would love to see a Muta. Oh, he is making a Muta, in fact, because he has plagued a lot of these vessels. The Muta can take down 4 of those very quickly. See if he does that. I think that Barracks should be expecting it. Yeah, look, he's going to lose 4 vessels now. A little bit greedy. A little bit greedy. Sometimes people ask about this when this happens with pros, where they lose a bunch of vessels that have been flying around with in the deep red. Well, it's very much tempo-based. You actually have time to go back and repair them, or do you want to just keep that pressure on? Because if you let the pressure up, a player like Yabsab is going to start to come back very quickly. So, yeah, I mean, obviously losing 4 vessels is bad, but keeping pressure on is good. The game is very difficult and very deep on some of these decisions. Okay, let's take a look. Yabsab. I mean, his drone count is not bad considering the huge erasers that we've seen. Producing quite a few lings now because his gas is drying up. That's always a huge issue. 4th base is coming up here as well. But, you know, he's doing the right thing in a lot of ways. Like, he's throwing down the Dark Swarms. He's plaguing the army so that he has a way to actually get in. To push it back and everything. Oops. Well, that's actually not a bad trade for Barracks there. 2 Scourge and a Defiler cost basically the same as a vessel. And the gases are, like, the gases should be both just about gone. See, the second one, 1,000, this one is gone already, or is just about to be gone, 136 gas. remaining there. So, a lot of Ultra Ling down here, but this 4th base, it feels like it's going to get knocked out before he can get over here. And in fact, some Irradiates here would be gigantic, or an Eraser, of course. Yeah, look at that. Another Eraser going down. Okay, Burrow being utilized. Always a great move to go with against these Eraser plays. Defiler's popping out. Yabsab trying his best to hold on still. Looks like we did have a drop over here that didn't end up doing anything. Down goes a Dark Swarm, and Ultra actually comes out of it and dies. So a little bit painful there. Erasering his own Marines. Yes, yes. I like it. And Yabsab's trying to create some counterplay here, but he's down 100 supply right now, and he doesn't really have much going on. Like, if he had a bigger economy, I would say, okay, well, maybe, you know, in a very long game he can overcome that supply deficit, but it certainly doesn't feel that way this game. It's just Barracks has so much. He's maxed out his upgrades. We're almost there here for Yabsab, but it doesn't matter because he can only really produce Zerglings right now. He's got, like, no gas at all. He is getting a little bit done with some of these counters, but you can see Barracks just flowing throughout the map. Yabsab did sneak up this 9 o'clock base, or 3 o'clock, rather. I always cast through a mirror, so it gets confusing sometimes. But look, that's too slow. It's not going to do anything. You can see his gas going up so slowly right now. The attack seesawing back to the top right. Looks like we have another drop up here as well. And yeah, we are at the very tail end of this. I think Yabsab is just going to have to GG, and Barracks is going to be picking up his third game here in Week 7. So, kind of being a hero for the Terran race right now. He's going to be going up against a Protoss player next, whether it be Movie or Sins. See if one of those guys, they're actually both very good in this matchup, so maybe they're going to be able to take him down. GG is called. Barracks with another win.